Hello, friends. This is Dave Hurwitz, executive editor at ClassicsToday.com. When I was doing random reviews from the overflow room and I got to the S's, I had a bunch of Simon and Garfunkel singles, single CDs, and not all of them, but some of them. And some of you talked about them with great enthusiasm. And I thought, but you mentioned that they weren't complete. So I just wanted to show you this and talk about it a little bit. The complete Simon and Garfunkel. Here it is. And the reason I'm talking about it is because I personally believe that Paul Simon was one of the great poets of the lieder repertoire. And he also, the pair of them wrote and sang songs as well, as beautifully, as marvelously as anybody. These are classical songs. They are art songs. They are lieder. Schubert never wrote a better one. Now, I watch you jump up and down and foam and scream and smoke coming out of your ears and whatnot at that statement, but it's true. And the reason it's true is because a song is a simple thing, basically. I know, again, no, they're sublime, they're this, they're that. A song is a simple thing, formally and conceptually, right? It is a poetic text set to music, lasts 2, 3, 4 minutes. I know you could get one of those huge ballads that Schubert wrote that last 25 hours or something, or you can arrange them in cycles and you can do all kinds of things with them. That's all true. You can make bigger things out of them, but the songs themselves are what they are. They are music in small forms. They are music in the most popular forms. Song forms are popular. You have to remember, people didn't write art songs because they were arty. They wrote art songs because songs were popular and people like singing songs. They're the most popular type of music that we encounter in our normal lives. And nobody in the 70s and whenever they were doing these things, 60s and 70s, was writing songs that were more affecting, more beautiful, and more emotionally expressive. I mean, than Simon and Garfunkel were. More topical. They were amazing groups, an amazing group. And it's very funny. It's very funny when people start talking about, the song repertoire, because I did a little chat about, the leader thing in classical music, because nowhere in classical music is elitism and snobbery more obnoxious than when it comes to the song repertoire. The reason, of course, is because there's nothing special about songs. I mean, nothing uniquely special about classical songs as opposed to popular songs. They're all just songs. And the best songs, the cream of the crop from the popular repertoire, become classics, and they become classics in the truest sense of the word. They're part of the canon of great songs. I personally find the distinction between art song and popular song to be quite artificial and perfectly worthless, because it doesn't tell you whether somebody is going to become a great songwriter or not. It doesn't tell you whether a song is a great song or not, because the criteria for greatness in a song are the same, no matter who writes it and when. It has to have words that people care about and a great tune, a great setting of those words, one that goes together well. If you have that, you have a great song. And that's the end of it. There is nothing more to be said. So let's just take a moment and go through this little box, which is a wonderful excuse to go into the whole song thing, I think. It really is, because these are just incredible songs by gifted artists. I mean, look at Paul Simon. He's the first guy I know who used the word misconstrued in a popular song lyric. It wasn't here. It was in 50 Ways to Leave Your Lover. But anyway, let's see. We got Live 1969. Do we start these? Let's start at the back, because these are the first one I got. Wednesday morning, 3 a.m., which has like all kinds of, see, there they are, the subway. It's all so New Yorky. And the songs on here, well, let me see if I can find my magnifying glass here, because I'm never going to see this otherwise. Some of the great ones. There we go. Last night I had the strangest street, Bleecker Street. That's amazing. The Sounds of Silence. One of the great songs ever written, ever, by anybody, for anything, for any reason. He Was My Brother. Some of these are folky. Go Tell It on the Mountain and whatnot. The Times They Are A-Changin'. These are great songs. And I have to say, when we were little kids, when I was a little kid, because these were the 60s, I was just you know, a callow youth. My brother and I, my younger brother, we used to sing these because my parents had the records and we used to play them at home. And there was one we particularly liked that we have to get to, which is, this one is Sounds of Silence. This one's got I Am a Rock, Leaves That Are Green, Richard Corey. Let's see, Feeling We've Got a Groovy Thing Going. Kathy's song, Angie, Somewhere They Can't Find Me. I love that one too. And of course, The Sounds of Silence, which is still one of the greatest songs ever, no matter how many times they sing it. Wait a minute. Let's see. It goes that way. This goes this way. Am I doing it backwards? Yes, of course. I always do these things backwards. Here's the booklet. Okay, there we go. So that goes like this. And then this one goes in. And then we've got Parsley, Sage, Rosemary, and Thyme. Oh! Are you coming to Scarborough Fair? Cloudy, Homeward Bound. Oh, that was great. The Big Bright Green Pleasure Machine. And the 59th Street Bridge song. That was great. Let's see, what else have we got here? The Dangling Conversation, Flowers, something for Emily, and a poem on the Underground Wall. 7 o'clock News and Silent Night, which they've jammed together. The Graduate, one of the all-time great film scores. Oh, these are fantastic. This is, a lot of Simon and Garfunkel songs, but this had Mrs. Robinson. What a great movie that is, isn't it? So we have The Graduate. Then we've got Bookends. And Bookends has, gosh, I can't see anything here. Let's see. And you get the words on the back here. Well, that's nice. Let's see. Fakin' It. Oh, Fakin' It was great. Yes, of course. And let's see. At the Zoo. Oh, goodness, I loved it. It's a rough and tumble journey from the east side to the. It's a light and tumble. Yeah, well, light and tumble journey from the east side to the park. Okay, however that goes, you don't want to hear me sing them all. And then this was Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Again, could they make this any tinier? Bridge Over Troubled Waters. Oh, that's such a great song too. The Boxer. Oh my God, what a wonderful song that is. Let's see. What are the latest? Why Don't You Write Me? Bye Bye Love. Oh yeah, remember that one? Song for the Asking. Okay. These are short albums. Now that I think about it, popular songs were kind of brief, and now they have like beards and things. They're looking scruffier. And this has Bridge Over Troubled Water, Mrs. Robinson, The Sounds of Silence, some of their. Here we go, Cecilia. Yeah, that was the one. My brother and I used to sing that. And, we were like, I was born in 1961, so I was in my single digits, and so was my brother, who was 2 years younger than me. And my parents and I would be driving, and we'd have our heads stuck between the seat rests. This is in the days before like seat belts and child safety seats and things like that, when we were all risking death every time we went to the supermarket. Remember that, folks? And we would sing, Making Love in the Afternoon with Cecilia up in my bedroom. I'd be doing that. I hope I don't get a copyright claim for just doing that bit. And we had no idea what any of that meant. And I remember years and years later going to my mother. I said, remember we used to be singing those Simon and Garfunkel songs, and they were about stuff that we were really way, way, way too young to understand. And she would just chuckle and say, yes, we never said anything about it, of course, because it didn't mean anything. And then we've got, what's this one? This is the concert in Central Park, so we don't have to go through it. It's famous songs. And then there's Live on Stage, Old Friends, and let's see, what else? And this is like complete, yay! Live from New York City, 1967, and finally, live in 1969. Yeah, and this one's got Homeward Bound, At the Zoo, Scarborough Fair, Mrs. Robinson, The Boxer, So Long, Frank Lloyd Wright. Remember that one? All other nights we'd harmonize till dawn. Bridge Over Troubled Water, The Sound of Silence, I Am a Rock. Just great, great, great songs. So I just wanted to raise this as a way of talking about, on the one hand, the sort of hypocrisy of the classical music universe. On the other hand, a real issue, which is what makes great music and what makes a great song. And I've always said, When I started this channel, when I talk about music generally, I don't think about classical music as classical music. I think about music as great music and not great music. And I think the way to think about music is not by whether it's pop or classical or this or that or whatever convenience we use to just lump it into categories. You want to think about it in terms of forms, what kind of music it is, a song. Songs have been the same since the first song ever, since the dawn of time. Formally speaking, they are a thing that makes the music a song. And if it's not that thing, then it's not a song. I'm sure you've had friends who've come up to you and, you talk about, I'm listening to Beethoven's Fifth Symphony, and someone says, oh, I love that song. And you say, it's not a song, it's a symphony. Well, that's right. That's right. Music comes in many different types and forms and shapes and sizes. And we need to, I think, be clear about what those are, just so that we understand and communicate the fact that there are other things to do besides songs. Not that there's anything wrong with just sticking to songs, if that's your thing, but there are other things out there, which I like to point out, because those other things are the things I largely prefer. But I like great music, and Simon and Garfunkel wrote great music, and Paul Simon's lyrics are extraordinary by any standard. He's as fine a lyricist who has ever set words to music. And that includes all the great poets of the past and all of that stuff. Because the truth is, great poetry is nice, but when it comes to musical settings and songs, great poetry is only as great as the music that it inspires. And this music had great poetry that inspired great music. These songs did, that is. And there you have it, my friends. Simon and Garfunkel, leader. They are leader composers in the truest art song sense of the term. Stick that in your pipe and smoke it. And keep on listening. Take care.